So a few months ago, Hiboy sent me the P7 to test out, and for the last couple months, I've been doing extensive testing on the bike to test its durability, battery life, and value. And I've done extensive miles just right around town I live in, but in order to really test out the P7's capabilities, I've conducted 3 tests: a hill climb challenge, a commuting test, and an off-road test. But before we get into the tests themselves, let's go over the basics of the P7. So the P7 is a Class 3 electric bike that's labeled in the commuter category. It has 27.5-inch wheels, a 9-speed drivetrain, and knobby tires. The P7 is powered by a 500-watt brushless rear hub motor that provides 70 Nm of torque and has a 696 Wh lithium-ion battery that Hiboy says is good for up to 68 miles of pedal assistance. But now, let's see how the P7 did. One of the main selling points of electric bikes is the ability to pedal up hills that would normally be exhausting on an analog bike. So in order to test that out, I decided to take the bike to Dictionary Hill, which is one of the most infamous steep climbs in all of San Diego. Specifically, I was going to take the P7 to the Apple Street climb, which has an average grade of 21% and a max grade of 28%. So let's see how it went.
So what we're going to do now is we're going to attempt to climb up one of the steepest hills in San Diego. So, in case you're wondering how steep this hill actually is, has a max grade of 28 degrees, and we're going to see how the Hiboy does using a climbing gear and level 5. So here we go. So far, so good. Okay, we're doing 13 miles an hour. There we go. Doing 11 miles an hour. It's pretty incredible how well it's doing. So far, I haven't done the steepest part yet, though. So those hills right there were about 22 degrees. Now we're going to be doing the 28 degree hill. Here we go. Here we go. 9 miles an hour. Not too bad. We are in the lowest climbing gear, which is a 32 tooth. Here we go. 8 miles an hour. Just like that, we were at the top. It wasn't too bad, actually. Obviously super steep, but we made it.
So as you just saw, the P7 did fantastic on the climb. The bike was able to attack this climb without too much drama or effort, and it also appears that the P7 is able to handle much more than the claimed max climbing ability, which Hiboy claims is 20%. Next, I want to test what the Hiboy was really designed for, and that's commuting. So for my test loop, I decided to run my old commuting route from where I used to live to a shopping center which is located just a couple blocks from my job. According to Google Maps, this route is 15.5 miles. And if I were to drive my car using the same route, it would take me about 28 minutes. But if I were to take public transportation, it would take me 2 hours. So with that, I powered up the P7 and took off for the test. My plan for the test was to try and avoid all the main roads if all possible, and enjoy the neighborhoods and the side roads. And just a quick side note, I did the ride at 11 a.m. on a Monday, so I wasn't riding during peak traffic. After heading into one of the main roads, I was able to take a road through Mission Trails, which is a beautiful regional park that offers stunning views and a beautiful rugged terrain in the heart of San Diego. And while riding through the park, it occurred to me that many people in cars probably drive past this road every single day, not realizing the beauty that they're missing. Once I finished riding through Mission Trails, I had to stretch on the main road, so I decided to put the hammer down. After about 2 or 3 miles, I went back into the neighborhoods to enjoy San Diego's infamous perfect weather. So far, I was about 8 miles into my ride, and the bike was performing flawlessly. The next section took me to the backside of the all-new Snapdragon Stadium, which is the home of the San Diego State Aztecs. While riding along the road and crossing over the freeway, I remember that there was a little hidden bike path that just saved me a bunch of unnecessary climbing. So I hopped onto the bike path and rode along the freeway up to Kearney Mesa. After heading through a couple stoplights, I turned for my last stretch to the final destination. While riding, I was surprised how good I felt. Not just physically, but how at ease I was. Usually when I have to drive in my car, I'm very tense and I'm just not enjoying myself. But riding the bike was a lot of fun, but most importantly, it was relaxing. It's not to say that riding a bike on the streets can't be stressful, but having the ability to take side routes, ride through neighborhoods, and just pedal along with a smile on your face is really what biking's all about. So after 15.3 miles and over 1,000 feet of climbing, I had reached my destination. It had only taken me about 57 minutes to get there, and the bike still had over 80% of the battery left. I felt fresh, and I easily could have pedaled another 15 miles like nothing. So the last test that I wanted to do was to take the P7 off-road. I want to do this test for a couple of reasons. First is that the bike does come with knobby tires, which to me implies that the bike has the ability to go off-road. Second was to test the durability of the bike itself. Now admittedly, I rode the bike more aggressively and on trails and jumps that most people wouldn't even consider taking this bike on. And while you can tell this bike isn't designed for this type of off-roading, I was actually surprised how fast it was and the punishment it could take. Now would I ride this bike like this all the time? Absolutely not. I do commend the P7 for handling what I could throw at it, but at the end of the day, this bike is a commuter bike, and I do feel that eventually something would break. But what this test did show me is that the P7 is more than capable to be reliably taken on very basic dirt trails and paths, but also has the ability to have some fun and let loose. So I was pleasantly surprised by the Hiboy. When I first unboxed the P7, I wasn't really too sure what to expect. But this is a solid electric bike that has a decent amount of power, a long battery life range, exceptional climbing, the ability to go on dirt paths, and most importantly, it won't break the bank. And with the $1,000 electric bike segment increasing, it's sometimes hard for bike companies to separate themselves from the competition. But I generally think the Hiboy's done a great job in the design and build quality of this bike for its segment. And for this price point, it's a hard bike to beat. But thank you so much for watching, and have a great one.